Hello.
Then. Now.
Countdown to the queens.
Episode number 500.
Forever.
Looks like hell froze over.
Without any more further ado,
Together.
let's jump straight into the show. Hello, and welcome to episode number 108, I believe, of the TEW IX Challenge Run. We're here for SmackDown for February the 14th, 2025. Last week, we saw a big ending to the show. Io Sky, the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble winner, chose her opponent at Rascalz. Well, she didn't choose her opponent, technically. She chose her championship that she wants to challenge for. She'll be challenging for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania. Or so we think. That is provided she makes it to WrestleMania, because she did sort of take a rather horrible beating at the end of last week's show. But tonight we do have a WWE Tag Team Championship match, as mostly Machine Guns defend against the Creed Brothers. And we have our main event, Randy Orton taking on Ricochet. You know, Randy's looking for revenge on the Hurt Business. Ricochet's the next one up. And if you can take him down, surely a clash with the almighty Bobby Lashley is on the cards. Without any more further ado, though, let's jump straight into the show. We kick off the show with Adam Pearce coming to the ring. Apparently he's looking very stale. I'll fix that in a sec. Oh, not coming to the ring even. He's already in the ring when the show starts. It says, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Friday Night SmackDown." Now, last week was supposed to be a great night for SmackDown. As we had the fallout from the Royal Rumble, we were on the road to Roadblock. And the Women's Royal Rumble winner, Io Sky, came to the ring, and she was going to make a big announcement regarding WrestleMania 41 and her choice of opponent for that night. But unfortunately, things didn't end the way that we wanted them to last week on SmackDown, and Io was taken out of action. And she's currently not medically cleared to compete. We don't know when she'll be medically cleared to compete. So as it currently stands, the status of the previously announced Women's World Championship match at WrestleMania is up in the air, and Io Sky is not currently cleared to compete following the attack last week. That's when Candice's music hits and she comes down and she goes, "Pierce, look at you. Why do you feel so downtrodden? Why do you feel so disappointed and deflated? You should be overjoyed. I just saved your brand last week." Okay. Because time after time again, Pierce, you don't have to say it to me. I can just tell. You know, you didn't want Io out there as your champion. You know, you went through Io's last reign. You were the general manager for her entire reign last time. You saw the hell that this show and that women's division went through, and you want to go back to that? I don't think you do, Pierce. I think you know deep down that what I did was right. And you're actually relieved that I took that championship opportunity away from Io. So what you should do in return is, if Io Sky is not cleared to compete for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania, you should put me in instead. And I goes, "Why the hell would I do that, Candice? Why would I reward you for what you did last week to the Royal Rumble winner, to our number one contender for the Women's Championship?" Candice says, "Because you want to be on the right side of history. You, Pierce, you know what the right thing to do is. You can either accept the way they are, because the next time Io comes back here, I'm going to stomp her little head back into the mat. Because I made a vow that Io would never hold that championship ever again, and I'm going to stick by it. And I don't care who I've got to go through to make sure it's done." 79 rate match. Mostly Machine Guns defeat the Creed Brothers in 14 minutes and 40 seconds, Chris Sabin pinning Buddha's Creed Made in Detroit to make defense number 2 of the WWE Tag Team Championships. A 57 for Sabin, 68 for Shelley, 80 for Julius, and a 79 for Brutus. So yeah, big victory for the Motor City Machine Guns, another nice defense of the championship. And, after the match, Creed Brothers get to their feet, and them and the Machine Guns, they shake hands, because, 2 respectful babyface tag teams. So yeah, and still, the WWE Tag Team Champions are the Creed Brothers. Not the Creed Brothers, the Motor City Machine Guns. We then cut back to Kayla Braxton backstage. He says, "Ladies and gentlemen, my guest at this time, please welcome back to SmackDown, Andrade Cien Almas." In walks Andrade, Angel Garza by his side. Says, "Andrade, it's been 6 months since you've been here on SmackDown. You've been out with an injury. You tore your quad back in August. So what's next for Andrade? What are your goals now you're back here on SmackDown?" He says, "Kayla, I'm back on SmackDown. I want to wrestle the best. And I don't want an easy layup back here on SmackDown. I want to prove that I belong with the best SmackDown has to offer." That's when Swerve walks in. Goes, "Andrade, welcome back, man. It's good to have a guy like you back in the fold here, but let me get one thing perfectly clear. I heard you say you want to face the best here on SmackDown. Well, quite frankly, Andrade, in case you've forgotten, I was the champion around here when you went down. And just because I'm not the champion anymore, I'm going to be the champion again soon. But just because I'm not the champion anymore doesn't mean this place ain't still my house. Because it is. So if you want to face the best there is here on SmackDown, you want to throw yourself straight back into the deep end, I'll see you out in that ring tonight." And he offers a handshake out to Andrade. Andrade accepts the handshake. And yeah, what a match coming up later on tonight. It's going to be Andrade taking on Swerve in a banger. Hopefully. But it will be a banger, I know. We then cut backstage. And we see Shotzi, just chilling backstage on her phone. When Dakota Kai walks up to her, she goes, "Hey, Shotzi." Goes, "Hey." Goes, "Look, I'm sorry about last week. I don't know what came over me." Shotzi goes, "No, it happens, To be honest, getting the chance to wrestle a former world champion is like my best opportunity I've gotten here on SmackDown since I came back. So, in many ways, I should be thanking you for what you did last week." Dakota goes, "Yeah, I'm going through a lot right now, so I don't really know what came over me. You got a match tonight?" And Shotzi's like, "Yeah, I'm actually going to face off with Morgan Daniels, the Learning Tree." Dakota goes, "Well, I'll go speak to Adam Pearce. It's the least I could do is, be by your side tonight, help you get a win back in your column. So, I'll see if we can get a tag team match, us two against Morgan and one of her friends." That's when Candice walks. She goes, "Oh, am I interrupting something important here?" And Dakota sort of side eyes. She's like, "No, why?" Because now I just saw Dakota and Shotzi, chatting. I figured this must be something that, is very important. Because, Dakota, you haven't actually come and seen me tonight. Because, yeah, I was busy. Sorry. Because, wow, you're talking about facing the Learning Tree girls, huh? Wow, it's going to be great. What would be even better? If I stood by your side, because I really need to get some wins under my belt too, because we're heading into WrestleMania season, and we all need to get momentum heading into WrestleMania season. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do, is I'm going to go talk to Adam Pearce as well. And I'm going to make sure we get this 6-woman tag team match tonight. See you out there, girlies. And then Candice walks off, and Shotzi and Dakota sort of awkwardly look at each other. And yeah. 80 rating. Charlotte Flair and Fallon Henley. Charlotte defeats Fallon in 8 minutes and 41 by pinfall. 86 for Charlotte, 67 for Fallon. So yeah, Charlotte last week beat Zelina. Yeah, Zelina. And now she's beating Fallon this week. Charlotte is, she's also sort of going through a time right now because she hasn't really got a clear path to WrestleMania, which she is gonna, take the mic after this. And she's going to, cut up and she goes, "Well, Fallon Henley, ladies and gentlemen. Fatal influence, the way they go about things here on SmackDown. I don't agree with it. But they sure are making a name for themselves, and they are 3 very tough women in their own right who have a great future here on this brand. But I don't want to talk about the future. I want to talk about the present and the past. Because both of those things are me. Now, our relationship over the years has been up and down, up and down. You know, you hate me, you love me, and then when I'm gone, you miss me. Then when I'm back, you're sick of me again, yada yada. It's a cycle, okay? But, this is different. You see, last year, heading into WrestleMania, I was, the number one contender for the Women's Championship, and the year before that, I was the champion. And, WrestleMania 38, we had our big match with Bianca, it was brand v brand. And then the year before that, what did Charlotte do at 37? She fought Liv, okay. And then the year before that, I had my issues with Liv. And the year before that, I had my issues with Riott winning the Royal Rumble. And then I main evented the year before that. And I beat Asuka the year before that. You get the point, okay. But this year, she sort of turns and looks up at the WrestleMania sign. She goes, for the first time in my career, I don't know if I'm going to be at WrestleMania. I don't know if WrestleMania is in my future. I don't know if there's a place at the Showcase of the Immortals for the Queen. But let's make one thing perfectly clear, because there's not a path for me at WrestleMania. For the first time in my career, I've got to take the other road, the off-road, the rough road that you all insisted I took for all those years when your favorite wrestler had to take those paths because I was the one at the mountaintop. Now other girls are at the top of the mountain and I'm the one looking up trying to get back to the top. And let's make one thing clear. I'm gonna get there. And whether you love me or you hate me, one thing will be for damn sure. When I make it to WrestleMania and when I make it back to the top of the mountain, one thing you won't be able to say about me is that I was handed it. Mic drop. So yeah, Charlotte, kind of lost right now. She's got the yearly "there's no spot on WrestleMania for you" arc. So let's see if she can find her way. But then cut backstage. Speaking of women who, have opportunities coming up, Shayna Baszler, she's chilling backstage. She's got a pack of cards in her hand. She's sort of just shuffling them in her hands. She goes, Carmella, at Roadblock, obviously I'm going to need my tag team partner by my side. You see, the UFC Apex is a building that I'm all too familiar with. And I'm going to walk into that building, I'm going to choke out Utami, and I'm going to be the one going to WrestleMania to face Io Sky, should she be cleared. But, this is the fierce and the fabulous. If I'm the women's champion, Carmella, I need you to step up. I need you to prove that you belong by my side. And Carmella goes, first of all, I was a champion around here long before you were, but this isn't the time to argue. This is the time to get back in the same page, because we are, a unit, and we're heading into the biggest show of the year. So if you're going to be the women's world champion, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to make a statement tonight. Because this is Shayna Baszler and Carmella, okay? Not Shayna Baszler and her friend who, can't get the job done, and her friend who always comes up short when the time's needed. I'm going to prove I belong. I'm going to make a statement right here tonight. And Carmella walks out when Shayna's like, okay, let's see what she does. We then cut to Kayla Braxton interviewing the United States champion, Big Bronson Reed. And she goes, ladies and gentlemen, my guest at this time, the United States champion, Big Bronson Reed. He walks in and she goes, Bronson, last week you made the next defense of your championship. You tore through The Miz, which is always a great thing to see. And you stand here still, the United States champion. So, WrestleMania on the horizon. What are you looking forward to? What's your future? Bronson Reed goes, Kayla, I don't know what my future holds. Last week, The Miz was the best I had. But The Miz isn't the kind of man who can wrestle a championship away from Big Bronson Reed. You see, I am the United States champion. It took me 5 years to finally get a piece of singles gold here in WWE. I'm not gonna let a guy like The Miz take it off me, especially this close to WrestleMania. So what my future holds is the next baddest man who thinks they can take this championship from me step up and try and prove it. That's when Oba Femi sort of just walks past. He sort of looks down at Bronson Reed, looks at the belt, just chuckles to himself, and then the camera follows Oba Femi as he walks his way out to the ring for his next match. Gets a 54. Oba Femi defeats Shirai, Connors, and Kel Dixon in a handicap match. You know, slow and steady build up. I say slow and steady build up. That's actually not going to be true because of the next segment we've got. But Oba getting the squash match treatment, it seems. 66 for Oba, 39 for Kale, 42 for Uriah. So yeah, Oba Femi with a nice win. After the match, Pat McAfee, he gets into the ring and he goes, "Oba Femi, you giant son of a bitch, welcome to SmackDown." Now, of course, everybody who watches NXT are familiar with the ruler. But now you're here on SmackDown. What are your goals here on SmackDown? Oba snatches the mic off him and he goes, "Pat, my goals here on SmackDown are the same as my goals were on NXT. I'm here to dominate. I'm here to be the ruler. I'm here to be champion. And I hear the United States champion, Big Bronson Reed, is looking for the next biggest, baddest man to step up to him. Big Bronson, look at me. You are not the ruler around here. I am. I'll be seeing you very, very soon." So Oba Femi, not mincing his words, he wants a United States Championship match, and he wants it with Big Bronson Reed soon. We then cut to the back. Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis stood together. He says, "Ladies and gentlemen, last week we promised you a big announcement tonight in regards to SmackDown status for the upcoming Iron Survivor challenges at Roadblock." And then Nick was like, "Yes, this week we have made the decision on who will represent SmackDown in 2 Fatal 4-Way qualifiers next week, with the 2 winners of those going on to Roadblock to wrestle Jay White, Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes in the Iron Survivor Challenge." And Nick was like, "First of all, we have Carmelo Hayes, Pete Dunne, Jacob Fatu, and Angelo Dawkins." That Pierce goes, "And in the other Fatal 4-Way, it will be Swerve Scott, Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, and Daniel Bryan. May the 2 winners of those matches go to Roadblock. May they become the Iron Survivor and go on to WrestleMania to wrestle for whatever world championship they please, whether it be our World Heavyweight Championship or whichever ones are left after Seth Rollins makes his decision. But either way, SmackDown is bringing its best for the Iron Survivor. And who will the best be? Find out next week." Then cut to the ring. Out come Queendom Omega. And Cammy says, "Well, last week's, that ending of SmackDown last week sure was something, huh? Oof. I'd hate to get on Candice LeRae's bad side. Not a place we've ever been. But Io is irrelevant, okay? Whether or not Io could make WrestleMania means lick to us, because even if she did stupidly choose to wrestle her replacement, her superior, her not predecessor, that's fucking the other one, that's the one before. Her follower, the new queen, Utami Hayashishita, she'd be throwing away her championship opportunity. But before WrestleMania, before the Omega Queen steps into WrestleMania as the world champion, we have to get through Roadblock. We have to get through Shayna Baszler. And I addressed Shayna Baszler last week. Because Shayna walked around here thinking she was oh so tough because she struck a knee in my queen's nose and busted her nose up. But what she actually did was help us out. But Shayna, you beat Saya last week. Congratulations. Choking out Utami's best friend like that, it's gonna have consequences. So, Shayna, you think you're a real fighter? You think you're at home in the apex? The only reason your fighting career lasted as long as it did and was as successful as it was is because you didn't have to face women like Utami Hayashishita when you were fighting. You didn't have to face women like Julia. You damn sure didn't have to face any bitch as big as the Megasis. So bring your best, Shayna Baszler. It's been 5 years since you were the world champion around these parts. We can make you wait just a little bit longer. That's when Carmella comes out. Just Carmella by herself. She goes, Cammy. Again. Running your mouth about Shayna Baszler when Shayna's not even out here. You sure love the sound of your own voice. People tell you that time and time again. But, unlike you, I'm going to keep this short and sweet because I'm not here to talk. I'm here to make a statement. Okay? Sure. Shayna may be tougher than me, she may be stronger than me, she may be better than me, but she damn sure isn't me. You can't overlook a girl like me just because your focus is on Shayna. So I'm gonna get myself an opportunity. If Shayna's gonna become the world champion, I want that. She points at the Liberty belt. Cammy just laughs and goes, You wanna face the Megasis? Carmella by herself wants to face the Megasis for the Liberty Championship. Carmella goes, Yep, did I stutter? She goes, No, I was more so giving you a chance to back out. Okay? Because you've seen what we've done to Io and to Asuka. So, once the Megasis is finished up with you, I'm sure you can join them in the hospital. We do get our Liberty Championship match coming up next. And it gets a 77. That's actually really good. They both score 66s, so 77 is actually a really good rating for this. But of course, Carmella gives it a good fight. You know, she rocks the Megasis with a super kick and tries to get her down. But in the end, the Megasis does plant her down with Fate's Descent in 10 minutes and 5 to make defense number 5 of the Women's Liberty Championship. They both score 66. So yeah, 77 for the match is very much overachieving, really. So yeah, pop off. But after the match, you know, Cammy gets into the ring, she raises the Megasis's hand. And she's like, that right there that you just saw is the standard dump. And Megasis sort of like puts her hand over the microphone. And she takes the microphone from Cammy. And Cammy's like, oh, okay, sure. And I think this is the first time she's ever spoken on SmackDown. If not, she doesn't speak often. She goes, Kairi Sane. Fate is calling your name. Come and meet your maker. She drops the microphone down. Kairi's music hits. She comes out with her looking glass, looking through at the Megasis. She drops it on the floor. She charges into the ring. She tries to take the Megasis down. We get another brawl. You know, Kairi's throwing big back fists at the Megasis, rocking her again. She sends her packing over the top rope like she did the Royal Rumble. She picks up the belt. She like holds the belt up, waves it in her face. Megasis wants to get back into the ring, and Cammy's like, no, wait, you know, it's not worth it. You know, let her have this moment, okay? She won't get another one. We then cut to the Mercy Machine Guns. They're approaching Randy and Ilya ahead of Randy's main event against Ricochet. And they go, see that out there tonight? Great defense against those Creed brothers. Well, the SmackDown Tag Team division, it's really heating up. Randy goes, another great win, boys. Holding our championships, you're definitely keeping our championships warm and in good hands while they wait for us to come home. And don't make one thing perfectly clear, they will be coming home, Alex, Chris. But first and foremost tonight, I've got to focus on Ricochet. I've got to focus on taking that World Heavyweight Championship. And after I take the World Heavyweight Championship, then we can talk about our tag team titles and our rematch. Then Sharkeo walk off. And then when Sharkeo were gone, Pretty Deadly strike from behind. They take out the machine guns. And they're like, oh, listen to them, Ellie. They're talking about their rematch for our tag team championships. That rematch that we are still owed for our tag team championships that we got screwed out of. Because, you know, it's kind of ridiculous, actually, isn't it, Kidster, that Randy Orton and Ilya Dragunov can challenge for the World Championship and still think they're next in line for the tag team championships. But you've got these Creed brothers, Aussie Open, all these tag teams we didn't even know were around here. But we're not getting another look, despite us being the champions. I don't think that's going to stand. So I think this tag team division needs a makeover. A very, very big, important, beautiful makeover. We then cut to Big E and Kofi backstage. And they're still chatting about Neville. When Xavier Woods walks in. And, you know, they pop off when he walks in. Woods, he's not, like, happy. He sort of just walks in, stern faces. They go, oh my god, Woods, so great to see you. You're finally back. And, like, he's like, Kof. You know, they hug him. He's still stern, straight-faced. He goes, listen, man. E and I have been thinking, you know, about Saturday Night's main event. It's been playing on our mind for the past 2 months. And Woods like, you know what? It's okay. I get it. I know if I was in your position, then I probably would have done the same thing. You know, it stung, but you know, it is what it is. Kof, you lost your WWE Championship in a horrible fashion to E. You know, I didn't even know if you got pinned for yours. I can't even remember because, you know, it was a fatal 4-way match. But both of you you know what it's like to lose world championships. So I guess now I can just join you in the losers bracket. It is what it is. You know, best victory of my life. Taken away from me like that. But it's all good. It's all good. Kofi's like, are you sure it's all good? Because you're kind of tweaking right now. Because I said it's all good, Kofi. Now we need to get this whole New Day thing back on the train. Go get us a match next week or whatever. Sure. He walks out and Big E goes, Kof, I don't know about him. He doesn't seem all there. Doesn't seem like Woods. Kofi goes, nah. He said some pretty hurtful things, do we? Oh my goodness gracious me. There we go. I told you, banger. 99 rated match. Swerve against Andrade. Swerve does put Andrade down with the Swerve Stomp in 1735. So yes, Andrade does lose his first match back, but like, come on now. He had a 91 rating away from perfection. So yeah, he's back home and he's scoring 92, so I'll have to try and fit him into my plans because that's too good to ignore, basically. 95 for Swerve, 92 for Andrade. You know, what a match. After the match, Swerve pulls Andrade to his feet, they hug and share a handshake out of respect, you know, bump fists, when Drew McIntyre's music hits. He goes, wow. Look at Swerve. Look at the great Swerve Scott, the hero of SmackDown, the guy who runs this yard, Swerve's house we're all in. And this is what he does. He wants to get himself back in form by beating up people who haven't wrestled in 6 months because they're coming off a serious injury. Swerve, you did it again. You're playing this card where you gave Andrade the opportunity because you wanted to showcase Andrade on your show. But yet, it was just a selfish way to get you on the show, get you a victory, and continue your rise in the ranks here on SmackDown. Because that's all you ever do, is you walk all over everybody. Just like you tossed me to the side when I came to you and I challenged you for that World Championship in Glasgow. My home country, and you embarrassed me in front of my own people. Swerve, I hate you. I've been toying with it for the past few months whether or not me taking you out of action was enough, and I've decided it wasn't. So Swerve, we're in this fatal 4-way next week. Best of luck in there. Because, quite honestly, at this current moment in time, I'm not even sure if I really may need Drew McIntyre to win that match. I just need you to lose. Watch your back. Because you never know who could break into Swerve's house and make himself at home. We then see Neville in his dark room. He just stands there, staring at himself in a mirror, chuckling. So, it seems as though your king has returned. Your king of the ring is back. But oh, the New Day is not. While all three of you may physically be together again, I don't see that power of positivity in you. I see 3 lost puppies. 3 lost lambs looking for slaughter. I will give you one last chance to do this the easy way. But if you choose the hard way, if you choose to stick by each other through thick and thin and accept the mediocrity that you have become, and you defy me, well then, you would be courting death. We then cut to Gorilla. Morgan, Zeta, and Kaya getting ready for the women's 6-man tag team match against Dakota, Candice, and Shotzi. When Jericho walks in, and he's got his phone out, he's recording himself on his phone, he's like looking at himself on the phone, and he's pulling these weird faces and like rubbing his chin. And Morgan just turns to him and goes, "Chris, you good?" He goes, "I'm fine, okay? What is it about this Rizzler that people love so much, huh? Okay? What, because he can pull this face?" And he starts trying to do the Riz face, and she goes, "You're doing it wrong." Because I'm not doing it wrong, okay? First, I don't get a chance to qualify for the Iron Survivor Challenge. Now I've still got people laughing at me because some guys who shop at Costco tried to take me out of the Royal Rumble. But listen here. Those guys don't even go here. Okay? There's no Rizzler around here. I'm the Rizzler. Okay? They call me Riz Jericho. And for fuck's sake. Oh, and I will never be power boomed. You got it? You dig? Morgan goes, "I dig, Chris. You're 55. And he goes, "I know. As young as I'll ever be." And then music hits and they go out to the ring for the 6-woman tag team match. I need to compose myself because this next segment is a complete 180 from Riz Jericho. Okay. Match gets an 80. That's not really important though. It's just a nice little match. So Dakota, Shotzi, and Candice. Dakota felt bad about how she treated Shotzi last week, so she wanted to team with her. Candice forced herself into the match. And, yes. Dakota, Shotzi, and Candice, of course, do win. And Candice is out of it, She just stands there, blank expression, messy hair all over her face, just staring across the ring. And Dakota sort of, shuffles her onto the apron, stands her on the apron. Shotzi starts the match. Shotzi and Dakota tag in each other. They don't tag Candice in the match at all because, And then eventually, Dakota backs up into the corner going for a big chiropractor on Kaia Saint. And Candice tags herself in. And she like just stares across at Dakota. And Dakota's like, okay, like calm down, Candice, and gets on the apron. When Candice LeRae then kills Kaia Saint, you know, she takes her down with a big forearm. She like rains the forearms down on the ground. She gets her in the wicked steps, so she keeps like stomping on her head. Like it's not just the one stomp. She like keeps it up and does like the Daniel Bryan stomps, but like the other way around. And just keeps stomping on Kaia's head, and the referee just eventually like, oh well, fuck this, she's out, and calls, and the referee stops the match, and Candice and Shotzi and Dakota win. And then Candice immediately just walks to the back after the victory. 72 for Shotzi, 89 for Candice, 88 for Dakota, 71 for Morgan, 29 for Kaia, 37 for Zeta. Yeah, weird. Next week is a pretty stacked episode of SmackDown. It has 2 Fatal 4-Way qualifying matches. The first, Carmelo Hayes, Pete Dunne, Angelo Dawkins, Jacob Fatu. These are 2 feuds that have been going on for a while now. You know, Jacob and Dawkins had their issues. Carmelo and Pete have their issues still. So yeah, those 2 Fatal 4-Way, those 2 feuds in a Fatal 4-Way next week, with the winner getting a spot in the Iron Survivor Challenge. Plus, the other Fatal 4-Way is fucking stacked. Drew McIntyre, Swerve Scott, Sami Zayn, Daniel Bryan. One of those 4 men will also be in the Iron Survivor Challenge from SmackDown's side. Plus, it is now signed a Women's Liberty Championship match will take place next week as the Megasis and Kairi Sane go 1-on-1 for the championship next week on SmackDown. But then cut back, Dakota Kai is in the back of Shotzi. When Candice runs up to them, all excited, giving her a big hug, she goes, "Yeah, we did it!" Dakota goes, "Yay, yeah, we did." Because why? What's the matter? You know, you were right. You were so right. You know, last week when you said we had to take care of the problem and everything would be okay. But I feel good. I've never felt better in myself, honestly, Dakota. And to be honest with you, I couldn't have done it without you. Okay, you've been by my side through thick and through thin. And it's good to know I finally have somebody on this roster and, you know, somebody in this women's division who I can really trust in life. You know, I'm so lucky I get to wake up and call you my best friend because you've stood there by my side through my highs and my lows. And I think, you know, we had our struggles. We nearly came to head a couple of times, but that's all good now. I'm all good now. I feel great. And Shotzi goes, "Say you feel great one more time." Candice sort of looks across at her and goes, "Is she your new best friend?" She goes, "No, I teamed with her now this week because last week I was kind of a bitch to her. So, you know, it was just a one-off thing, you know. It's still me and you, I guess." Candice goes, "So do you want me to take care of her? Is she going to be a problem here as well?" She goes, No, Candice, she's not going to be a problem at all, you know. Well, how about you go home? Candice goes, "Trying to get rid of me?" She goes, "No, I just, you know, we had a tough match. You might need a break." Candice goes, "I can't. I want to stick around for the rest of the night. Johnny's on Velocity again, so I need to see how that goes." Dakota goes, "Okay, yeah, sure, great." And Candice walks off. 98. Fuck me, what a show. SmackDown popping off this week. Randy Orton does indeed defeat Ricochet. The super cool RKO creative finish was a success. This is the first time I've ever used one of these, like, how they're intended to be used in the game. It's Randy Orton and Ricochet, so of course the finish is going to be some sort of sick springboard RKO counter. So yeah, that's the finish. It was a success, and it boosted the match rate. Nice. 77 for Randy Orton, 94 for Ricochet. So yeah, big win for Randall Keefe. And that will surely put him in the front of the line for a potential shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. And after the match, Randy's up on the top rope. He's doing the pose when Ronnie Hughes and Damon Kemp enter the ring and they jump him. Ricochet gets into the ring. Randy Orton and Ilya Dragunov fight off Damon Kemp and Ronnie Hughes. That's when Lashley comes into the ring. He spears Ilya Dragunov and he gets into the face of Randy Orton. And like him and Randy go forehead to forehead. Bobby holds the belt up. Ilya gets back to his feet. He tries to get back into the fight with Lashley. Lashley shoves him to the floor, but he turns around. RKOs by Randy Orton. Adam Pearce is out there. He comes running out trying to break everything up. He goes, enough. There's been enough of these fights over the past 2 weeks. Okay, go to the back. Randy Orton picks up the World Championship. He sort of holds it up high. He tosses it at Lashley. Lashley and MVP back up the ramp. Randy and Ilya leave through the crowd. And Adam Pearce sort of just looks around in anger as everybody like disperses. When we hear the crowd, start murmuring because obviously someone's going through the crowd. That's when Io hops the barricade. And she gets into the ring and she takes the microphone off Adam Pearce. She goes, I'm here. And Pearce is like, Io, you're not cleared, okay? You being here, you're not cleared to compete. Your neck, everything about it, go home and rest. She goes, I can make WrestleMania. I get WrestleMania. But give me Candice. Pearce goes, listen, I understand you want to get your hands on Candice after what she did to you, but you're not cleared. That's when Candice comes out. She starts mouthing off to Io. Referees come out trying to, prevent Candice from getting into the ring. And security comes out as well. Candice starts forearming referees. Io, as Candice gets to the bottom of the ringside area, she hits a big springboard dive to the outside. She wipes Candice and a bunch of security guards out. Candice gets to her feet. She tries to chase back after Io. The referees hold her back, and one of the referees takes a stiff forearm to the face, and Candice starts, attacking a referee, laid out on the ground. And Pearce goes, get your hands off a WWE official right now. Candice goes, you heard the girl. Give us the match. And then she walks away, and Adam Pearce checks on the downed referee as the show goes off the air with chaos. He tried to prevent chaos with the Hurt Business and Jacques, but this chaos can't be prevented. 90-rated show. Big. Yeah. What matters more is what you thought of the show. With ECW, it was definitely more sort of a, getting myself back into the swing of it after I was away for a week thing. SmackDown, fit like a glove. This is probably my favourite show right now. Actually, no, Raw is also really good. But yeah, there's a lot of things brewing. There's a lot of things in the oven on SmackDown that we're building towards in the coming weeks. And of course, at WrestleMania that I'm very excited for. There's a lot of things happening in the coming weeks that I'm sure people will think, that's happening now. For example, the Liberty Championship match. But of course, I do know. Yeah, I do know where everything's going. So, stick along for the ride. But first, we have Velocity. Okay, relax, brother. Velocity kicks off with an 87 match as Johnny Gargano faces off against Big Anthony Nese. And he gets an 87 because Gargano carries him. He does win with the Hurt Donut in 15 minutes and 12. 89 for Gargano, 61 for Anthony Nese. So yeah, nice little match for Gargano. And after the match, he takes the microphone. He goes, Cedric Alexander. You've been parading around here as the Cruiserweight Classic, the current champion of this division, the current head of this division. You're a great competitor, you're a great champion. But it's time for a change around here, and Johnny freaking Wrestling is that change. Because you see, since I've been here in WWE, it's been almost 4 years since I last held singles gold. And I think I'm ready to be the World Cruiserweight Champion. And then Cedric comes out. Here's Johnny. I'm delighted to see you're out here, okay, and delighted to welcome you to my show, Velocity. You feel like you're doing okay? Is everything okay at home? I know your wife's going kind of cuckoo right now. But, that seems to be rubbing off on you, Johnny, because you're coming out here trying to think you can take a swing at the champ. And you can't. Every single person on this brand has tried. But they ain't Cedric Alexander. They ain't Prime Alexander. If you want to be the Cruiserweight Champion, Johnny, the World Cruiserweight Champion, you gotta prove you belong with the best. And I know a guy who, just like me, is one of the best cruiserweights in the damn world. Gargano turns around and Mustafa Ali takes him down. And then Ali, he lays Gargano about with the 054. He dusts himself off. And then he leaves the ring. He crosses past with Cedric on the ramp. They sort of just look at each other, give each other a nod, and you can see Ali sort of glances down at the championship. And Ali walks out, and Cedric Alexander follows him. They don't leave together, but Ali goes and then Cedric goes later. Speaking of championships, the Speed tournament continues on. The first semi-final match, Hook versus Oni Lorcan. And it is Oni who wins in 3 minutes and 44 with a flying blockbuster. 71 for Oni Lorcan, 656 for Hook. So Big Oni, the former World Heavyweight Champion himself, advances to the final of the Speed Championship tournament, where he'll face either Mark Andrews or Dudley Davis. And of course, in 4 minutes and 6, the winner of that match is Big Dudley's. So Dudley will face Oni Lorcan next week in the final of the Speed Championship tournament, with the next man being the next in line for the Speed Championship held by Big David Martin, the Great Britain. An 82 rated main event. The Undisputed Era trio, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and Roderick Strong, defeat Danger Zone and Top Flight. I know this is another partner of a Top Flight, but they were doing the Top Flight gimmick IRL where they wore the flight suits, so putting them with Danger Zone just felt right. And but they do come up short because the God is on Velocity, and he pins Toby Marley with a brainbuster. 65 for Toby, 71 for Ty, 75 for Danger Zone, 53 for Bobby Fish, 81 for Roddy, and an 84 for Kyle. So UE back on Velocity. Well, the trio, I guess, not Adam Cole. But that's how we end Velocity. A pretty stand-packed Velocity, some big names on this show. They got Gargano, Cedric, Ali, the God, Oni, Dudley, some of the all-time greats of Challenge Run on this show. I'm trying my hardest to... I know Velocity feels isolated from Raw and SmackDown. Heat every week is, the women that week that aren't on Raw or SmackDown are on Heat. So, the Heat regulars will still appear on Raw and SmackDown, but, the Velocity guys... the champions specifically feel locked to Velocity. I am trying to, raise the show. Because I don't want it to just be, it's that show called us whizzes through in 5 minutes after SmackDown. There are some key names on here. And, a little thing I did tonight that is leading towards that is I was calling it the World Cruiserweight Championship. I don't know if you picked up on that. But, I think just adding world to the name, sort of adds the prestige to it. Because you are the Cruiserweight World Champion. You're the World Heavyweight Champion if you're the big World Champion, but in terms of the Cruiserweights, you are the World Champion of the Cruiserweights. And I think just adding world to it just adds a little bit of pizzazz to it. So, Velocity's coming along nicely, And the main thing I do have to do with Velocity is a lot of the time it is just, specifically with the 6-man tags, I'll be honest, I don't know how much longer the Trio Championships might exist, because it's just, I stick them on 3 people and they wrestle matches. They win the championships, we crown contenders, we do 3 singles matches, and we do a title match. There's never really any, like, focus to the division. I think tag team championships would probably be better than trios, but also I don't want to just get rid of the belts altogether, so I will try and, you know, build something with that division. Hence me putting UE here. Again, it's not really a downgrade because the God's in it, and the God is still a key feature on ECW. He's got a fucking TV championship match in 3 days. But yes, that's enough yapping. What matters more is what you thought of the show. Do leave in the comments below, and I'll see you next time for Raw. See you then.